Hey everybody, Chris here from It's Mead Made, and welcome back to the series where I am walking you through how to paint your first 3D print. Now in the last video, I got the base colors blocked in on this Mario model, and now it's time for the next step. In this video, I'm going to start adding shading and highlights to the model so it doesn't look so flat. Now, this is the part where the paint job really starts to come alive. But I want to keep this very beginner friendly and simple. I'm not going to do anything with advanced blending here. I'm not going to overcomplicate this. I want to keep this paint job more cartoony, which really does work for this model. So instead of smooth transitions and a lot of fancy blending, I'm just going to use darker tones for shadows and lighter tones for highlights to help define the shapes. And honestly, this is a great way to learn. Alright, real quick. Now, if you want just a little bit of extra help with your painting, I put together a color mixing guide for your 3D printed models. It's a beginner-friendly guide that will help you understand color mixing, thinning your paints, and how to get the most out of the paints that you already have. Now, if you want this guide, you can go ahead and get it by the link down below in the description. And if you're also curious about all of the tools and supplies that we're using throughout this entire series, I've got those linked down below as well. Alright, that's pretty much it, so let's go ahead and get back to this video. When you are first getting started, one of the best things you can do is train yourself to see where light would hit and where shadows would fall. Once you start understanding that, your paint jobs really start to look more intentional. Now the nice thing about this Mario model is it is somewhat low poly, and that actually helps us. Those facets and planes on that model can make it easier for us to see where to place dark colors for the shading, and where I can place the lighter colors for the highlights. So instead of fighting the shape of the model, I can use it to help guide me. And one really simple trick for beginners is look at the model from underneath. Any areas that you can see or look at from the bottom are potentially places where darker colors can go. Those are the areas that shadows can live. Then turn the model around and look at it from the top. Any of the areas that you can see from above are potentially places for lighter colors. Those are the areas where the light could hit. That is a really simple way to start understanding lighting on a model. Now, technically, you could choose any light angle you want. If the light is coming from the front corner of the model, then the front-facing areas might be your highlighted areas. And then if you look on the exact opposite side of the model, that could be where the darker areas would be. But for this project, I want to keep it really simple. I'm just going to assume that the light is coming from directly on top of the model, which means the darker areas are coming directly below the model. For each main color, it is a good idea to have a base color, the darker version, and a lighter version. So, for the blue that we were using, I can just add a drop of black to the mix to make it a little darker. Then I can take that same blue and add a drop of white and make it a little bit lighter. That gives me a simple shadow color and a simple highlight color without needing a whole separate paint line. The same idea works for most colors. If I wanted a darker red, I can add just a drop of black to the red and mix it together. That will give me a darker red for the shadow areas. Now, when it comes to red and adding white, it does not give me a brighter red. It will actually push towards pink. So instead of using white to lighten red, a nice trick is to add a little bit of yellow. And that can brighten it up a little bit and give me a little bit of a brighter red. Now, it will be leaning a little more towards the red-orange, but that will work just fine for this model. And just add a little bit at a time. That's the real key here. And this is just a really good rule for everything we're doing. Add a small amount of paint at a time. Do not dump a huge amount of black or a huge amount of white or yellow into your paints right away. If you go too fast, you can completely lose your color that you were trying to achieve. It's much easier to add a little bit at a time than to try to rescue something that went way off the rails. So go slow, mix a little, look at it, and adjust as needed. And one more important note here. Do all of this before you thin your paints. Get the color where you want it first, then thin your paints down using your distilled water. That way, you are mixing correctly before adjusting the consistency. Once we have those lighter and darker versions ready, we can start painting. And again, I want to keep this simple and cartoony, so I'm not trying to create a super smooth blend here. I am not trying to make every transition invisible. I'm really just trying to place darker colors where shadows would make sense. And I'm placing lighter colors where highlights make sense. So for the darker tones, I'm looking at the underside of the forms. That could be under the brim of the hat, under the nose, under the mustache, under the arms, the lower parts of the overalls, and the underside of the gloves, and even the underside of the shoes. I just need to make sure that the placement makes sense. Now, a really good way to approach this is one color at a time, just like in the last video. So if I'm working on the blue overalls, I can mix my darker blue, focus on those areas first. Then I can move on to the red, then the skin tones, and then the rest of the model. That keeps things easier to manage, and it helps me stay focused on the shape of the area instead of trying to solve everything at once. And just like before, I do not want to overload my brushes when I'm painting these areas. A little bit of paint on the brush goes a long way. That also gives me more control and helps me place the color where I want instead of flooding it into an area that should stay clean. And I also want to build things up carefully, especially as a beginner. It is a good idea to start a little lighter with your shadows and the highlights, then add a little more if needed. You can always make your shadows darker, and you can always add a little more highlight. It's much easier to build up than it is to try to fix something that got way too heavy right away. So, take your time. Work section by section, and remember, the goal here is not to paint a competition piece. The goal is to take those flat base colors and make them feel more alive, because that is what shading and highlights do. They help a model feel more three-dimensional. They help the details stand out more, and they help guide the eye around the character. So for this Mario model, I'm just going to keep things simple, assuming that the light comes from the top and the dark is coming from the bottom. And that is more than enough to make a big difference. So for this video, here are the things that I want you to remember. This stage is about adding depth, not perfection. Use the shape of the model to help you see where the shadows and highlights should go. Look at the model from underneath to help you find those darker areas, and look at the model from the top to find the lighter areas. Keep the light source simple. For each color, make a darker version and a lighter version before you thin your paints. And when you're mixing colors, add a little bit at a time so you stay in control of the color. That is what you really need to know to get started. And in the next video, we're going to move into the smaller details and the finishing touches to help pull everything together and really make the model feel finished. And as always, I wish you a great day, and I will see you in the next video right here.